Hello, this is Brett J. from Moses Lake High School. I'm just taking you through our annual Moses Lake Youth Football Camp. I'd like to give a special thanks to our admin for allowing us to put this camp on, especially at Lions Field. Huge thank you to both our youth football organizations for getting the players out. Definite thank you to our coaches for setting up drills with their players, their position players that make up their unit. And then a huge thanks to the players for showing up in their jerseys and representing our high school well as mentoring and being that role model for our youth football program. So you can see we kind of got a drone shot. We just took you around the field. We have 14 drills set up around the field, and athletes go from one station to the next. We have a coach in the middle that is on the clock, and he rotates us. Okay, here is an end zone view of our when our camp initially starts. All the players or all the kids show up around 5, and they just kind of mess around on the field until about 5:30. Right at 5:30, we get all the youth players to line up how we stretch. This is completely player-led. We like to put a lot of leadership responsibility on our players. They get all athletes lined up. Our goal is to go every 5 yards, 12 lines across. They get everybody lined up, and then they direct our static stretching. So we go through each stretching position. We have players counted out, and it's just a great way to start camp. Once we go through our static stretches, we get our what we call lake jacks in. So we like to teach our youth how to do lake jacks from a young age, and then they can do this at their practices as well. We are vertically aligned, our high school program with our middle school programs, all the way down to our youth football programs. So after our lake jacks, they file down. You're going to see this from two different views. They file down into our dynamic stretching lines, and then we take them through our dynamic stretches. So you can kind of see them here. Here's another example of that. This is just right after they finish their lake jacks, and they bring it on in. Here's some of our dynamic stretches to start out. We just do, whether we call them grave diggers or we, different A skips, all those types of things. We just go through. Our players will shout it out and lead, and then each line is expected to follow. So this is another great way to build the knowledge of our players. We like to have all our youth coaches out on the field as well, so they can watch exactly how we do things and get a good feel for the way we start practice. We start practice like this every day, and so not only are we, teaching and instructing our youth, but we're also helping out the youth coaches to show how they can start practices as well. We like to call these sumo stretches, so you can kind of see a different angle from the back here. You can see how organized it is. Really good that our players are able to organize this camp. It teaches them skills. It also shows, it's kind of fun to watch just how much control they have over the players, how they lead, and it kind of gives them a different perspective as well. So I enjoy watching them lead our youth players. Alright, once we are done with our dynamic stretches, we put them into grade level lines, and then we split them up and we send them to an individual drill. So we'll have players waiting for the youth to get to their drill. We will also have players lead a group of youth players to the drill, and so there's constant supervision. Now again, this is going to be my 17th year as a head football coach. We've been at 4 different stops: Riverview High School, Monroe High School, Hanford High School, and now Moses Lake High School. And we've done a version of this camp throughout the years, and we just each year try to improve it. This was by far the best, most organized and fluid camp. We try to get out as much equipment, whether it's pads, cones, and different variations of that as we can. So players, it helps create engagement for our youth players. Okay, so the offensive drills are on the left side of the field. Our defensive drills are on the right side of the field. So there'll be 7 offensive drills on the left. We'll have 2 O-line drills, 2 receiver drills, 2 quarterback drills, and a running back drill. And it kind of looks the same on the right side with couple linebacker drills, a couple D-line drills, a couple safety drills, and a corner drill. That just helps create organization. All players will go to all drills. This is more about having fun. This is about putting our players in a leadership position. This is about getting our youth players to love the game of football. In the past, yes, we have put players at specific drills and had them work on those specifics. But as we've progressed through the years, we've realized the goal is just to get players to come out and have an absolute blast. It's 100 degrees out, and they're out here working on their game, on their skill set. So it's been the best method for our program, is to just get players out, get them experiencing all positions, and you never know. I don't like to single a kid into a position as a youth player and then have them play there for years and then have to switch positions later on. We like to get them as many position opportunities as possible. Bouncing you back with the overview here with our drone, and just to see the warm-ups again, just gives you a little more clear idea of exactly how we do it. A skips, B skips, C skips, just all those different things. Here's an overview of the field completely set up with the 14 drills outside the field, and again, the offense is on the left, the defense is on the right. We expect players to run the same drills we do in practice. About every 4 minutes we rotate, so there's player groups of about roughly 15 to 20, and then they will rotate clockwise about every 4 minutes. We have a coach that is in the middle of the field. I've already told you this a little bit, that is on the watch. He blows a whistle, blows a horn, whatever it may be, and that gets the players moving. Getting players moving is important. I like this drill right here. They're teaching them some back pedal drills. We'll have kids from kindergarten to 8th grade that we're putting them through drills. So obviously the skill sets are different. Here one of the reasons I like this drill is we're using some donuts for some tackling purposes. But the more equipment, the better. We try to get as much pads, donuts, cones, anything we can to spark interest in an athlete is what we will do, and create that engagement. Our camp does run Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 5:30 to 7, so it's a 3-day camp. We do not charge. We just encourage players to sign up for youth football, and that's kind of the big draw for this. This camp is done the last 3 days of July, WIA purposes. It's when our players can be around footballs, because then we go into our dead period where there's, until August 20th, we're not allowed to be around the players if the football's out, so that's why we do it the last 3 days of July. Here, you can see our O-line running zone the stack drill, and we do zone the stack almost every day. We are a zone team, and it's not perfect, but I think it's pretty neat that they're learning this. They're including some bags on the ground to create that board drill mentality. Here's another overview so you can just kind of get a feel for the different look, and then you'll start to see some players transition. One thing we're going to work on before next year is let's get a great break at each drill and get players transitioning to the next drill even better. I like this. This is a tag off drill. Get to your near hip. It was just a real quick one, but that was a fun drill for the kids. three cone drill here, and then we try and encourage them to have a football at every drill, just catch as many passes as possible. So this is a fun one for them. Next up, we have our quarterback bag drill, and again, there'll be O-linemen going through this, and it's kind of fun for them just to get that opportunity to throw the football around. Here's another tackle drill. We try to include as much tackling as possible just to reinforce technique and getting players used to it. I really like this drill. There's one of our freshmen demonstrating it, and so you can see the freshman go, and then you can see it looks like maybe a first or a second grader go immediately following. At the end of each day, we have all our players come to the middle of the field. We have them take one knee. Our high school athletes will be around the huddle, as well as our coaches. We give them a little pump-up speech on consistency. The best players don't miss, show up each day, get 1% better, all those great things. So this is kind of the end of day one of our camp. Here's a more consolidated look here. Just a real focus. They, get them to run around in 100-degree heat and then focus up. I think that's another skill that we can teach our athletes, and it's fun to see. I hope you enjoyed the video. I do think it's our responsibility to continue to grow the game as coaches and as players, and so this is how we are growing the game in Moses Lake, and we get 300 plus youth football players to our camp. Hopefully you got something from the video. Thank you.